survey position in the middle of your living room in your house.
Walk on in.
Yeah, we can't stop you. That's how bad it is. So two things, that's gotta get taken care of in here and at the ballot box. Those are the kind of issues that people have to realize when you're voting.
Oh, anything else? Alrighty.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you for the input.
Just a big thank you.
Yep. They're rained out.
I need to sign in, but they don't need to know if I was here or not.
Fireworks, I guess. Fireworks. Oh, what's he gonna talk about? What's that? Oh, okay. I don't have all the
Obviously, your trust in the House. I was amazed because it was your second year, not second term. That's impressive. That impressed me. I was a little surprised about it too. That is right.
Ready to roll?
I am.
We'll find out.
I primarily came up just to listen in on what everybody was talking about with this pipeline deal, but I was in a meeting yesterday. Oh, I'm Representative J.D. Wangsmith from Miller, District 23. Yesterday we had an update on the county summer study and stuff, so since I have that, I thought I'd bring it to you guys and just give you a little treat on where we're at. Currently, we're getting a printout here of some of the ideas and proposed legislation that will be coming from the summer study. The summer study will be done somewhere around October 15th to the 18th. That'll be presented, and then they'll have legislation tied with that. I'll wait until you get your copies. Did you guys, what kind of county issues are you guys having right now? The summer study is to figure out ways to help you guys with funding, things like that. What are the biggest funding?
We've got a jail issue.
Jails,
That's a big one.
jails are huge throughout the northern part of the district. Roads are a big part. I know inflation has eaten up a lot of any kind of reserves or budget stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll just start going through this list. There's 13 items that they've kind of approved in their summer study. These aren't into legislation yet. They're starting to write them now. So some of the proposals right now, number one, allows counties to collect an administration fee for paying out your property taxes. Right now, you send out all, you get the money in, you send it back out to all the school districts and all the stuff like that, and right now you do it for nothing. So it's a 0.25% fee for that stuff. That's one proposal. And it'll amount to quite a bit of money, but I mean, it helps pay the bills. Yeah, we're doing that.
So we're gonna take that away from this.
Yeah,
city.
it's not a new tax or anything, it'll just be a fee.
Take it away from them.
Yeah, so if it's
They're gonna like that.
no, they're not, but somehow we gotta do something to help. And there's gonna be zero appetite for raising taxes. You know, it's just not gonna make it through. They didn't put any kind of tax increases on here because it's just not gonna get through the legislation out there, so. We're trying to come up with other ways. Allow counties to collect administration fees on TIFs. I don't know if you guys use TIFs or not. Okay. Some counties use them a lot. Yeah.
Some cities put them on the counties,
Yep.
basically, is how it is.
So then, an interesting one to me was 3 and 4 on veteran service officers and the emergency managers. We'd like to get this up to the state level so that we know that the training and everything is in place. So then that would just kind of shift the burden of paying for those positions to the state, and they would employ the people and stuff like that, which would save a little bit. Court-appointed attorney's fees, that's a huge one. The way this is written, 10,000 cap per year, so if you have some big cases or whatever that get up to 10,000, then the state can take over after that. This isn't maybe as big of an issue here in McPherson County, but that's a big issue in a lot of counties throughout the state. I personally really like the redistribution of the alcohol tax. Currently, counties get 25% of it back, the state gets 50%. The proposal is to flip that to 50% for counties, 25% for the state. Then the resolutions have to do with how our tax database is. Mental health holds is apparently a big issue. I don't know how big of an issue it is here in McPherson, but in a lot of counties, that's a big deal. It eats up a lot of money. And which that ties into the jail stuff. Last year they had a summer study on jails that it just didn't get anywhere. The grant programs, property and county capital improvement investment, that's an appropriation bill. Road districts, they do that in some of the cities and stuff like that. But that might help with combining the counties to help, work on roads together so we can minimize equipment or whatever. But once again, these are, cybersecurity grant is a big one. Most counties, especially the smaller counties, don't have very good security and probably don't budget for ransomware. So you can get a hold of the Dakota State University and they can actually do a study and come in for free. They'll come in and tell you how bad your security is or how good your security is. And then from there you can decide. But the state has the ability to help everybody with your emails and things like that and improve your security. And that can be a big cost if you get caught in the cyberware type thing, where they do that. Another revised 155 recovery obligation center. Okay, the recovery obligation center is where cities and the state goes for if you've got unpaid fines, fees, things like that, just unrecoverable stuff, indigent care, things like that. If the counties can access that, it can save you a lot of money and help you out recovering any, parents, liens, tax liens, things like that. Child support, that's what I was trying to think of. And then the last is a resolution urging, this would be more of a federal thing, to get a bigger PILT thing, which isn't a big deal here, it's for federal lands, it'll be more of a westerner type deal.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got a question on that.
Okay?
So payment in lieu of taxes, I'm not quite following what exactly this means. Resolution urging Congress to amend the Payment in lieu of taxes act to include U.S. Fish and Wildlife lands as eligible. We have like 23,000 acres.
Yep.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife land in McPherson County, so
So yeah, that would make a difference then. So you'd be able to get some tax dollars off that land.
instead of the 11% that they paid us in payment in lieu of taxes, that would increase that.
That would increase that. And add some acres in. These become a lot bigger issue western where there's a lot more federal lands and national forests and things like that. You know, these lands aren't on the tax rolls, so you don't get a lot out of it, so that's where this filth comes in. And, so those are some of the things. Like I said, there were some proposals in there for allowing county sales tax and some things like that, but they just don't feel there's gonna be an appetite for that in the legislature. So that's just kind of the short and the long and short of it there. Just a quick synopsis of what's going on with the county centers. If you have questions, I can sure take them and then try and get them answered if I can. I'm not on the summer study, I just happened to be in a meeting yesterday where they gave us
The grant program to encourage cooperation between counties for capital improvements, and there's appropriations of $5 million. I don't know, I think looks to me like maybe a failed attempt to get counties to merge, incorporate.
Unfortunately, that is a conversation. And when you get in with when you talk down in Sioux Falls and Rapid City where the concentration of your representatives are, yeah, they look out here and say, look, nothing out there, just consolidate. Well, obviously we know the problems with that. But yeah, there would be some encouragement to try and work together. But obviously that's not something I'm in favor of. That's gonna be if we can't kind of get things, if we can't get the help down here, and I know the counties need help. I sat on the county commission and unfunded mandates and things like that, I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I see the biggest thing eating away at us now is inflation.
Yep.
It is just, I can see the writing on the wall here. I've been in the commission too long, but we're sitting pretty good, and all of a sudden it's just eating into it. And
I think
I'm not sure how we're gonna handle that in 5 years.
Or less. So the cap on the 3% or CPI deal, that cap's been on since the Janko administration. And there's been a lot of discussion on that and increasing that and stuff. Well, for the last 20 years when inflation's been low, it's worked fine, because there's been a lot of years where your CPI has only been like 1.5 or something. So there is some talk of that. Once again, those aren't the premier things they're after, because trying to increase taxes is just gonna get,
going back to your first question of what biggest concerns, I think jails obviously is huge, but for me, to us, I think it's wages.
Yep.
We can't afford to pay our employees enough to get new people in.
Right.
Glenn is living it, is up.
Three people short,
3 short.
and it affects everything we do.
And that's very common throughout all the counties in this district, is, the employee, workforce is a big problem, and these are all, I mean, they're big challenges. I think this summer study's done a really good job vetting stuff out. They didn't get to all the counties, but they went to a lot of counties, you know, they're trying to figure stuff out. Plus, we're dealing with all 67 of them here, and this is our district, and all our counties are pretty similar, you know, as far as size and the issues that are facing us. And so we've been, all three of us, you know, Scott and Brian and I have been trying to get around to all the commission meetings throughout the summer and stuff to find out what's going on. But since I had this, I thought I'd give you an update on it. Watch for the finals, you know, the final deal around the middle of the month. You know, and we'll have some more information after that, and that'll hopefully have some legislation attached to it that we can start working on and hopefully help you out. In the meantime, if you've got some ideas that can help. My grand idea was, since we lowered the sales tax from 4.5 to 4.2, I'd like to go down to 4.0 and then give the 0.2 to the counties. I'll get hung if I don't think I'll get it through. But that would be a big deal if we get some more taxes back to the counties. So that's the whole goal. So, any questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions or concerns about this stuff as it comes along, don't be afraid to get hold of us.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Was there anything in range? Nope. Okay, then I'll move to board hold for range.
Second.
That's good. That's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's tough.
Yeah, sorry.
Finish up.
Okay.
We have any public comment? Anybody?
Yeah, Lindley, you got that house map with the red circles on it for mile setback in the front? Where did that- Hunter
I
does it,
have a
okay.
picture of that, I can send it to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I wanna take a look
Is
at
that
that.
it?
Lance, you
Glenn,
wanted to
you're
say
up.
something?
Okay.
Who did? Oh, I didn't see. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Just giving him a hard time.